Hello, welcome. Welcome to Let's Talk NBA with Rick. I'm here in the studio alone. Jack is not here today. Oh, there he is in New York.
Yeah,
hello, my
I
friend.
said
Thanks
Rick,
for tuning
and I'm
in.
like, what about Jack?
Hello, Jack. He's remote. He's on vacation with his family in New York, enjoying some time away from the heat of Las Vegas. And now he's complaining about the heat and humidity in New York. You can't please these guys, I swear to God. He's over there. How's everything going in New York in the heat and humidity?
It is humid and it is hot, but hey, you can't put a price on time with family.
And your home over there, you said, has no air. Woo! How you sleep at night?
With a fan.
In Vegas, you know, we just run the air and pay the $500 a month for the, the electricity. Anyways, thank you for joining us, Jack. Jack, again, is on vacation, and I'm in the studio alone, but we'll make it work. He was so kind to come on and take from his vacation to be with us. Thank you all for watching. Let's get down to brass tacks here with the NBA. Playoffs are, there's 4 teams left. The Clippers are refusing to fold. And now all of a sudden, Milwaukee looked like they had control of that series against Atlanta. And now Giannis gets hurt. As we talked about, Jack, our very first playoff NBA show, what do we talk about right off the bat? What was going to be?
Injuries, and more injuries.
Yeah.
Will determine the champion.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the Clippers, of course, have been without Leonard, and that's been tough for them, though they've been able to, get it together and play very well. I was surprised they played so well the other night and made that a 3-2 series. Tonight might be it for them. I think Phoenix is going to get real serious tonight. I just don't know that with both teams playing their best that the Clippers can keep up with them. Well, I hope so. Hey, I'd love to see the Clippers win 3 straight and make the championship as I predicted. You predicted Phoenix was going to be in there. I believe we both predicted Milwaukee, but now it's kind of very shaky with Milwaukee. 2-2 series. Atlanta's playing tough. A lot of young kids. Giannis hurt. What's going to happen in that Milwaukee series with Giannis out?
We're going to have to see. Maybe they play better without him because they don't have to depend on him, and it's going to be a different offense. But last night's game said more about Atlanta than it did about Milwaukee. The fact that they didn't fold because Trae Young wasn't going to play, because even when Giannis was in the game, they were still dominating it.
Yeah, what was the difference? What do you feel? I mean, I was quite surprised. Trae Young is such a fine player, such a leader for that team, and just done so well in the second half of the season. What did they do different to play so well against Milwaukee last night? And when Giannis was in there, by the way, they were still beating them. They were still in double digits. What changed for Atlanta in your mind that made them very competitive last night?
It wasn't just about last night. It was about this entire postseason where they're confident that they can beat any team, and it's just a matter of whoever the 5 are on the court. They have the will to win. That's the whole mindset of the team. Where they have the will to win, and they're going to do anything and everything to win. Whereas you saw Milwaukee, they showed up and okay, we're supposed to win because Trae's not playing. It's going to be easier, and it was not easier because what a lot of people don't understand is when Trae is in the game, he plays a little bit erratic at times, and he doesn't play good defense. So he's almost a liability. At times, that liability was out the door, and Milwaukee wasn't ready for it because the guys that are on the court, they're playing more efficient. They were making shots, and they were making a difference, and got the win.
Excuse us, we're having a little bit of a difficulty with Jack Zoom in right now. We're starting to lose his feed a little bit. I wanted to apologize to you all. I hope you heard what he had to say because it was relevant. Hopefully it unfreezes and you come back in, my friend. You okay?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. John, we okay? There's something on that end?
It's coming on his end.
You know how technicalities are, folks. We rarely have them, but we did want to have Jack on this show and Zoom him in. And as I say, generally we're both here in the studio, but hopefully it'll clear itself up. And if not, We'll say great seeing you. Have fun in New York, and I'll take it from here. But hopefully you're okay now. What I wanted to say was Atlanta had an ace in the hole. They had an ace in their pocket that a lot of people don't realize. His name is Lou Williams. Lou has been a great star for many, many, many years, and he has played well. He had 21 points last night. They brought this kid Cam Reddish in, who hasn't played much. He's from Duke. He is a very fine young player. He's got a lot of injuries. Between the two of them, they really made up a lot of ground. And there are other guys, there are other role players are playing very well. Bogdanovich plays very well. Herta plays well. You know, in the middle, they're still strong. And, you know, Gallinari continues to be a great old veteran. So, you know, Milwaukee's in trouble now. It's a 2-2 series. You know, we're headed back to Milwaukee. But if Giannis doesn't get healthy real quick, they're in trouble. And, you know, like with the Clippers, those knees are serious things. Leonard has not even come close to playing. So I'm thinking that Atlanta's got the advantage now. What are your thoughts?
I definitely think the momentum switched to Atlanta, and they never felt they were any way out of it anyway. So, you know, it's just for them it's an easier path.
Yeah. How about what's happening with the Clippers and Phoenix? Are the Clippers going to continue to play well and win tonight, or is Phoenix going to take that series and make it to the championship? You really see. The Clippers have played well. I mean, Paul George was a beast the other night. God, he was great. I was so respectful of how well he played after missing some key free throws in Game 2. I mean, that was very hurtful because the Clippers had that game. Paul George played very, very well. He's leading that team. Marcus Morris playing well. Reggie Jackson, unbelievable. The Clippers have enough to win that game tonight at home?
I'm not going to say they don't, but what a lot of people don't understand, closeout games are one of the hardest things to do when because a lot of teams don't want to go home, so they give it their all. They give everything to stay alive, and that's exactly what the Clippers did. But maybe tonight's the night where the Suns are going to show up and say, "Hey, we need to close this out."
Yeah, again, fans, we want to apologize for Jack's audio. We want to have him on this show, but it's a little bit tough to hear, and hopefully you can hear. We want to continue with him and get his thoughts. So please, we thank you for your patience and until we can get his audio straightened out, but hopefully you're hearing what he's saying. So you think it's going to be Phoenix in Atlanta, Phoenix, Milwaukee? What's it going to be with the circumstances that are going now in the NBA? And as we predicted very, very early on, injuries was going to be the difference of these playoffs. And fortunately for Phoenix, they've been the one team that has stayed healthy. I mean, Chris Paul missed a couple games. They really didn't miss him, but he's back doing his thing. They haven't played that well since he came back. But Phoenix has stayed healthy. The rest of them has been very shaky in the playoffs, particularly the Clippers. That's a big blow. I think the Clippers easily would have beat Phoenix, to be honest with you. But you know, everybody's got their own opinion. Leonard in there is a big difference, and the Clippers are hanging in there but suffering.
Well, Leonard, one of the things that I didn't like about it was he didn't go to Phoenix, and that's a sign that he's not a part of the team.
Well, that's a whole different subject. I mean, Leonard, as an individual, as a person, I've questioned his tactics in the playoffs. When they've played at home, he sat up in the luxury box with his family and not on the floor with his players, which is a bad message. When they've gone on the road to Phoenix, he has not gone. One of the things I noticed about the Lakers this year that stood out in my mind, Anthony Davis was hurt for a long time. I watched practically every Laker game this season. And while Anthony Davis was hurt, he was at every game on the bench talking to players, giving input, giving encouragement, helping guys out on the floor. Anthony Davis was always there. And LeBron was probably there 80% of the time. LeBron wasn't always there when he was hurt. And that really stood out to me because it really amazes me that this guy who's getting paid that much money, that can be down on the floor with those guys, giving instructions, encouraging people, is not there. So I've lost a lot of respect for Mr. Leonard, I can tell you that. I really hope the Clippers trade him in the offseason and get something for him, because that's not my kind of player. You have no excuse not to be on the bench with your teammates. You have no excuse. You're sitting up in that luxury box. Get out of here, man. Get down on the floor with your players. And don't say, oh, I don't want to get my knee banged or something. Well, there's a lot of guys that don't want to get something banged when they're hurt. Get down on the floor. It's a bad message, and that's the one thing that bothers me about that Clipper organization.
Well, Morris, his knee's hurt too, so should he be in the luxury box if he's not playing?
Hey, Zubats didn't play the other night, knee problem, right on the bench encouraging his teammates. And I've seen it throughout the NBA. The teams that do well and stick together, the players are there. Anthony Davis was the most resounding individual in the NBA this year. It was resounding in my head that guy would be there every night. You don't want to be there every night. You don't feel good. You want to be on the floor. You don't want to sit there. And by the way, when he sits there, he's got that beautiful jewelry. Best jewelry in the NBA. Anthony Davis. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about the coaching situation. We've had some positions filled. Chauncey Billups has gone to Portland.
Yep.
What do you think about that move? Is it the right guy for the job?
Yeah. With the shooters there, I think it's going to be. It's one of those where Steve Kerr, being a former shooter himself, going into a team like Golden State, I think it's going to be the same opportunity for him there in Portland.
Yeah, did you see that? The woman Coach Hammond out of San Antonio, the assistant coach, you felt that she was going to get an NBA head coaching job this year, and she was right there in the mix for the Portland job. But Portland had gotten some recon from the San Antonio people that she wasn't that hard of a worker, that her work ethic was probably not good enough to get the job. Was that just a ploy by San Antonio because they didn't want to lose her? Or is that reality that they would get that kind of recon? And based on that, they hired Chauncey Billups instead of her, who, as you know, there's some controversy with that in a rape charge back in 1979, 78. And people are saying, hey, how about that thing that was dropped? Did it really happen? What happened there? And is Chauncey Billups really the guy for the job? And Damian Lillard has questioned it. So what do you think? I mean, what's up in Portland? There's already controversy.
It was Billups' job to lose. I just thought they brought her in for formality. And they needed a reason to say, in a sense, because of him coming with a blemish, basically an excuse for not hiring her. Yeah.
The assistant coach in Boston got that job. Again, that's a crazy job. Brad Stevens, my opinion, did a very poor job with Boston, and so did Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge somehow all of a sudden decides to step down and retire, and Stevens gets kicked up to GM, and now they get brought in the assistant. So I wonder really what's going on in Boston. I think it's all too close knit, and they're not doing enough bringing in the right type of players and coaching and in leadership there. What do you see going on in Boston? What's happening there? And they got rid of Kemba. I mean, immediately after the season, they got rid of Kemba Walker. I mean, what was really going on that team?
I think he just didn't fit. He didn't fit. He didn't gel with the team, so it's understandable. Luka coming in from the Nets, he'll change the culture, and I think those guys respected him because he was an assistant on the USA Basketball, so he'll fit right in, and he'll turn the team around.
I hope so, because that Boston team was a mess this year. I mean, a veritable mess. How about Jason Kidd in Dallas? How's he going to do over there? Is he going to get along with Mark Cuban?
No, it's a prodigal son return. To my understanding, Mark Cuban likes to micromanage. So
we know
bringing in Kidd is going to do that for him. Is perfect fit for him.
You think so?
Yeah.
Think Kidd's the perfect guy for that job? You think that Kidd is going to be as good of an X's and O guy as Rick Carlisle was? I see a downturn there as far as the coach goes. Carlisle was one of the best coaches in the NBA. He just got tired of the whole Luka thing. He got tired of that. Luka having too much to say about games and what's going on, and also Mark Cuban having too much to say. So Rick Carlisle immediately leaves, and what happens? He gets that job in Indiana. That Indiana job is an upgrade. You watch them compete this year. I believe that Dallas job is a downgrade with Kidd. But I think Indiana made out very well with an excellent coach who was tired of the culture in Dallas.
He's a good fit for Mark Cuban, where he's a coach that he can tell him what to do. when to do it, and he'll have more access. Whereas you bring in an experienced coach that wants to play his way and his way only, it won't be a good fit for the organization.
So you mean like Jason Kidd got used to being told what to do by Frank Vogel with the Lakers and sat there and didn't say much all year, so he's going to pretty much be the same kind of guy over there in Dallas, and Mark Cuban is going to tell him what to do, and he's going to run the organization still, or is he going to be his own man? Is it going to be his own man? What's he going to do with that team? Lucas in the end is going to get the say, by the way. He's a young kid that tells everybody what to do. He's a great player, but I don't like his attitude.
His attitude stinks, and a lot of times I see his frustration on the court. That's a big turnoff for me as far as like watching him. I like the fact that he's naturally talented, but his attitude, it stinks.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it really showed in the playoffs. You get to see a lot of these guys in the playoffs. During the season, you just can't watch all those games because you could watch 7-8 games every night if you've got WNBA, if you've got NBA TV. But the playoffs really shows what kind of character these guys have, and who has the tenacity and the excellence, and who's a little bit arrogant. And I guess the craziest player in the playoffs is Patrick Beverley. What a passion with that guy, huh? That guy's unbelievable. The way he plays his heart out, and he just gets in Phoenix's face and Booker's face and Paul's face. And Beverly, he's a real determined guy, and people don't really like him a lot because he's like so much in their face. But I happen to like Beverly a lot. He's a great role player.
Players like that, every team wants a player like that to be able to shut down the opposing star, or even getting some real estate in their head. So that makes a big difference. So, he's an envy to all the other 32 teams, or 31.
Do you find that Rick Carlisle signing with Indiana is a real big plus for them? Do you think it's going to make a big difference there?
I don't think so, because as an organization or a culture in the locker room, he may want to change that first, but apparently they like to run off coaches. So he'll be the third coach in 3 years? Yeah,
he's special, though. I think he's a special coach.
He ran away from the star, a bona fide, superstar in Luka. So what's the difference he's going to make in Indiana?
I don't think he ran away from it. I think he dictates his future as a coach. He's a great coach. I think he's one of the best in the game. I believe that he controlled his future, and he didn't run away from anything. He got tired of the culture and being told things that he didn't want to be told that were contrary to his beliefs as a basketball coach, as an organizational leader. What was he there, 11 years? You just don't run from something when you're 11 years. He won an NBA championship with a ragtag team, with Dirk Nowitzki as a leader and a bunch of ragtag players. They won the NBA championship. He's a great coach, and contrary to what you're saying, he's going to do a great job in Indiana. And you watch Indiana contend, and I think they're going to be a major competitor. They're going to pick up some players, and I really like that guy. Talking about liking coaches, who's going to get the other jobs like New Orleans? Who's going to get that job?
That's actually the spot that I would see. I think Becky should get
Becky Hammond from San Antonio.
Yeah.
As I told you last show, she's not going to get a head coaching job. You believe differently.
I told you already. I guarantee you, she's going to get a job.
Who you been talking to in the NBA? I know you got a lot of connections there, and you know a lot of these GMs in the NBA, and who you been talking to that confirmed that for you, that Becky Hammond is going to get a job, head coaching job in the NBA? Guess what? I haven't been talking to nobody. It ain't going to happen. And if I'm wrong, you can pour water over my head when you get back, okay?
I can't wait. I can't wait.
You can't wait. I can't wait because she's not going to get a head coaching job. Be in San Antonio with Popovich one more year. But, we had a controversy about that with the NFL when you said that, our boy Bieniemy wasn't going to get a job, the great offensive coordinator for Kansas City, and I insisted he was going to get a job. He didn't get his job. We forgot to pour the water over my head, but you can do it twice, okay? Maybe once in the face and once over the head. But, it's interesting. We're coming to the end of the season. Fortunately, these guys are going to get the rest that they needed. We've talked a lot about injuries, and it was a shortened off season. What was it, 70 days off they had? You had told me the number earlier.
71.
71 days off. It wasn't enough. Injuries have been the story in the NBA this year, and You know, it continues to pop up, and it really hasn't. The playoffs have been fun. We've seen some great players, but it just really hasn't been any fun. I've been having more fun watching the WNBA right now. They're playing really well. You know, the Women's League of the NBA, which the NBA supports. Have you had a chance to watch any WNBA games?
Just when Seattle played the Aces, I was on the edge of my seat.
Oh, what a great game!
Especially in overtime, just every possession mattered big time.
How about that Asia Wilson? Best player in the league, you think? Who's the best player in the league? Is it her?
There's so many. Everybody brings so much to the table, because even with that, she wasn't the one that hit the winning shot. You know, it's a league of talent, and we see it showcasing and getting better every generation.
Yeah, they got some really nice players in the WNBA. Seattle, you know, they're loaded. They won it last year. They were the champions. They're looking to repeat. You know, Sue Bird has been there for a long time. What a great leader that really leads that team. You know, Phoenix is pretty good. They got Taurasi, who's one of the best players in the league. Of course, Cam Beige with the Aces is also good, besides Asia Wilson. Over in Connecticut, they got some real good players. We know that Candace Parker left the Sparks, the LA Sparks, to go to Chicago. And the funny thing about that is, whenever she plays, they win. When she was out by, I don't know, 6 or 7 games, they didn't win a game. It shows you the influence. And we've been talking on our other show, on our sports show. Check our sports show out, because we talked a lot about women's sports this week, and a lot of fun stuff related to women's sports and their excellence. But I didn't mention her in that show because I wanted to give her some specific time. But Candace Parker has been an incredible player in the WNBA. Great leader, great broadcaster for TNT, really an advocate of women's sports, and a great leader in the league. And she's just been wonderful for the game of basketball.
I can't say, and I have to second exactly what you said. She's one of those, I guess we'd say, she bridged the old school to the new school, and just the way she brings to the game. I enjoy watching her play, and her knowledge when she was on TNT.
She's unbelievable on TNT. I think that she's one of their best analysts. I mean, she holds her own, and you know, Shaq and the guys love to give her a hard time, and D Wade and those guys give her a pretty hard time. But she does a very good job as an analyst. Don't you feel that same way about that?
I prefer watching her over Chuck.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny, the TNT show with Adam Lefkoe and Shaq and Candace and D Wade, I like it much better than the Thursday night show with Shaq and Charles and Kenny. I find that Tuesday show is much more information, some great interviews. The egos aren't as big, and it's like not that attempt to always throw out comedy. And I know they've been very successful. That other group, very successful. But the group that came in on Tuesday nights this year for TNT, if you didn't get a chance to watch them this year, watch them next year. They did a great job. They brought a lot of information and good input to me. So it's been fun. The NBA is coming to the end. We're very close to the end of the NBA. Finals are just a week away, and we'll watch into mid-July basketball, which is odd to me because right around the corner is going to be NFL. And we'll get into our NFL show as soon as the NBA is over. But it's been a lot of fun doing NBA. The championship is close. It's looking, I don't know, it's all over the place. We can't just say that Atlanta's going to win it now in the East because Giannis is hurt. We don't know what's going to happen there. And the Clippers on the West side, they may get it. They may get it together. I would love to see the Clippers win tonight. I would love to see the Clippers win tonight and make it. Not you.
My son.
Oh man, I just love the game too much. I love great games. That was a great game the other night, and it's interesting. In the fourth, Phoenix went ahead, and I said, "Uh-oh!" They went up by 1 point, and I said, "Uh-oh! It's going to be over for the Clippers here tonight." And I turned to somebody that I was watching the game with, and I told them, "Clippers are going to lose tonight. This is the end for them." And they said, "No. The Clippers are going to win tonight." And they went on a nice run. They got a little hot. Paul George and Reggie Jackson led them. Great leadership. Reggie Jackson, to me, has been what an unbelievable player. And by the way, he's a free agent. and he's going to command a lot of money because he's
going to get paid.
He has just been terrific in the playoffs. Reggie Jackson has been an incredible leader for the Clippers. And I always knew the guy was good. I mean, he was very good when he was in Oklahoma, and he was good in Detroit. And when the Clippers got him, he didn't really do that much. And I was kind of like, Reggie Jackson, I've always known him to be a much better basketball player than he is, but he's hit his stride now, and he's just playing incredible. And he's part of that cast of role players with the Clippers that have done well. So I hope you all enjoy the Clipper game, Clippers and Phoenix, and we hope we get a Clipper win so we can go 7 games. And we stay tuned for Milwaukee and Atlanta because we don't know what's going to happen. More than anything, I want to thank you all for watching, being, fans of our show, enjoying our NBA show, watching our other sports show. And I want to take a moment to thank you. Our numbers continue to climb. Our viewership is just doing awesome, and we thank you for being viewers. We thank you for your opinion. We thank you for your likes and watching us at the various social media outlets that we are. Without you guys, we don't do this show. I just don't do it. Jack and I, though, we love to talk a lot and love to talk about sports. We just don't do it for us. We do it to expand our knowledge and to take it out to the masses and all you fans that enjoy it. And again, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for watching. NBA's at the end. As I say, we'll pick up NFL in a couple weeks, but this has been a lot of fun, Jack, and we got, not too many more NBA shows left.
Not too many, but probably maybe another 2 weeks or so.
Well, yeah.
With the finals.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It'd be kind of fun to watch Phoenix, Atlanta, really, because they got some great guards there with Booker and Young. That'll be fun to watch the championship. But I'm going to stick to my Clippers as I predicted they would be in the championship, and I'm not giving up on it yet. But
hey, the Suns. You've
been on them all year. There was your team from the time we started. I mean, the NBA showed at the beginning of the season. You've been a Suns fan, and I have been a Suns. A little bit tepid. The water's been tepid for me, but if they make it all the way, we'll crack a bottle of champagne here for you and your sons. But anyways, thanks for coming in from New York. Enjoy your vacation. Enjoy your family. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. We apologize to our audience for the little audio problem we had in midway through the show. Don't let it deter you from watching the show. It's a good show. We had a couple minutes of interruption there, and it was hard to hear, but thank you for your patience and hanging in there. Jack, enjoy your vacation. It's great to see you.
All right. Thank you.
God bless. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you soon.